all doing well. It's Lisa here coming to you with my monthly update. I can't believe where August has gone. I know I always open with that statement for whatever month it is. Plus, it is my 3-year flossaversary as well. So I started uploading August 2016, so now we're into September 2019, and miraculously enough, I'm still here and I still have stuff to share with you, which is really good. So what I thought I would do today is talk to you about what I've been up to this month, particularly from a stitching perspective, but then I also want to share with you some thoughts and ideas I have around a new channel. But enough of that for now. Let's do the whip stuff, because primarily that's what we're here for, isn't it? To see some nice stitchy progress. So without further ado, let's dive in and see what I've been up to this month. So the project, without a doubt, that's had the most love this month, and I really didn't want to put this down at all. I just didn't. I've really enjoyed it. I feel as though I've made some really good progress. This is one of the things that I feel as though I've made some good progress on for a change. And this is my Steam Heart by Heaven and Earth Design. So I'll put in a picture of, as usual, what she will look like when she's finished and where she was last time you saw this lovely lady. And I'm scrolling her now because I thought today I'd be incredibly generous and show you the full thing. Oh, Daisy, are you okay? And show you the full thing, because she's getting longer, you know. So I'm going to stand up for this one. Here she is. I mean, I am just absolutely loving this. Her face is really coming on an absolute treat. So, oh, are you okay, Days? She's coughing away here. It's just looking incredibly good. It's a bit darker than the picture. So the way that it's been charted, the colours are a little bit darker, but she's coming together. I'm looking at her in the viewfinder now, and her face actually looks really realistic in terms of what I'm looking at. So she's stitched 1/1 and 25 count Lagana. It's just, I think it's like a antique white or bone coloured Lagana, so it's nothing exciting, and there's the top of the page there. So she starts quite far down actually in terms of her, so there's a lot done. So I am not far off being a quarter of the way through her now, which a quarter of a way through a Heaven and Earth Design is like really. So yeah, she's just fabulous. So I am desperate to continue working with her. So I have no doubt that through this next month she is going to get a serious amount of love. I want that half of her face finished that I've just shown you. Oh, I'm hitting the stand. I want this part of the face finished, and then I'm not sure where I'm going to go next with her. I mean, I'm going to have to come and do this background section here, but you know, I might just treat myself to a little drop down of more of her and sort of maybe work my way across back that way potentially. Who knows? I might do. We'll see how we go. But yeah, I'm really keen to load her up, get her back on the frame potentially tonight, and give her a bit of love. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. As you can tell, like, my enthusiasm for this project isn't waning. It's always staggering because you just don't notice while you're working on it, and then all of a sudden you'll take a step back, as I've just done there, and look at it down the viewfinder, and I'm just like, oh, okay, that's pretty good. So yeah, that has been my, I suppose, most work piece this month. As you can see, I've got well on with the face, which is fabulous. I spent probably about 2 weeks out of the month on her, so that probably gives you a bit of an idea of what else I've managed to get done this month. The other piece that, in all fairness, I did get quite a bit done on is my Mirabilia, and this is Persephone. So I'll put in a picture of where this lovely lady was prior to me working on her this month. So I actually had a week off, believe it or not, a lack of stitchy progress, the last week. Yes, I've been back to work this week. So last week, after the bank holiday, August bank holiday Monday that we had, in the UK, I didn't return to work for the rest of that week. So I took the rest of that week off, which was lovely. I was over on the East Coast in my holiday home / static caravan, having a really nice time, appreciating all the lovely weather. So I did get bits of stitching done, but my family came over and spent a couple of days with me. Then one of my friends stopped by, so it was diluted somewhat, but still we had a fabulous time. So this is where I am now. So down here, not an awful lot more progress has been made. The significant part of the progress is up here, so I thought I'd better get on with some of the 1/1 skin. So I've done her entire arm and hand, and then I've started to work in the background section. So these are stitched in Karen Waterlilies, that's espresso, that one, and I don't know if it's going to show very well in the light here. It's got different colours running through it. It looks really, really effective. Her arm is looking pretty good as well in terms of the effect. So what I did, because obviously if you're doing 1/1, I might do an upload on this as well, how I do 1/1 skin. Let me know if you'd like to see that in the comments box. But not that full crossed skin isn't great. I historically used to do that anyway, and what I would always do, because some of the crosses, I don't like it when the crosses are beyond the back stitch and it looks uneven, and then the next row down you've got like a bit of fabric showing because the back stitch line runs past it. I don't like that. I really like all of the stitches to be right up to the line, and you can really achieve that with the 1/1, I think. So I put all the back stitching in first of the arm and the hand. It took some serious count. I think I must have counted about, I don't know, 10 times just to make sure it was right before I went and started putting the stitches in, and then started to fill in and do the work, which did actually work out okay in the end. So I'm probably, well, I might do something if you think it would be worthwhile. But no, she's coming on a treat. So that arm took, I would say, the best part of a couple of days to stitch up, because obviously you're making 4 stitches for everyone you would naturally normally do. But yeah, I'm really pleased with how she's coming on. I almost toyed with stitching the apple that's going to be in a hand 1/1 as well, but I'm not sure. I don't know yet. We'll kind of see how that one goes. We are losing sunlight. I don't know whether you've noticed, there's a big fat rain cloud appeared outside. So in the UK here, it was always the same. It's really weird. So you get to the end of August and then September comes, and then the weather just like bottoms out. It's like all of a sudden it's cold. So for the first time in about 2.5 months, nearly 3 months, I've got my heating on today, which hasn't happened in such a long time. I've had to put my heating on because I have genuinely felt the cold today. So I really firmly believe that you should always feel warm in your own house. I don't like being cold. So yeah, it's definitely autumnal now. I did take out my kind of more autumnal Yankee candle. I've still got a load of the Wickford ones from last year. Is it Wickford? Yeah, Wickford & Co, my gingerbread man one. So they'll be no doubt getting some serious burning over the next few weeks as we move through this next season. So the second thing, third actually, that I put some love into is my little Santoro kit. So it's the Hush Little Bunny. It is kitted up by Bothy Threads, and it's a Santoro design. It's one of the gorgeous girls. So I'll show you a picture of where she was last time, and this is her now. So she has had a little bit of love. Sorry about the the creasing where she's been on the hoop, but most of her dress is finished. The bunny's on the way, minus his ears, and I started working on her hair. This is a really nice one to do. It just gives you a break. I've said this a million times before. The more full coverage, more complex pieces, sometimes it's just nice to have something that's a little bit more straightforward, just for sanity purposes, where you can sit in front of the TV, chill out, and you're not having to really concentrate. But she's coming on nicely. I like the hand-dyed fabric that she stitched on. I think that's really effective. I think it really makes a nice, I don't know, sort of background to this design. I think it adds a little something. I think this is 14 count Ada. I did forget to say that my Persephone is stitched on. This fabric here it's a hand-dyed fabric. It's opalescent, I don't know whether you can see. It's called Slightly Nutty. It was designed by Kate at Sparkleys, or dyed by Kate at Sparkleys, and it's a 32 count opalescent Murano that I'm working on there. So that's quite straightforward to stitch on. It's quite nice, but it's good sometimes to come to the 14 count Ada and just zen out. I still need my glasses and my mag eyes, which was the other thing, because obviously last week, before autumn landed on us this week, the weather was still really hot. I mean, you were talking, we had temperatures like in the high 20s, early 30s. So naturally you want to sit outside. I want to sit on my deck over on the coast. I cannot sit there with my glasses on and my mag eyes on stitching. I have to read or do something completely different, because in a nutshell I look stupid. So I'm not gonna sit there looking like that in front of everybody. So I can't really stitch outside if I want to you know, keep a bit of the tiny bit of street cred I've got. What I've been working on, Daisy's just laid on the Chatelaine, get your face off. I'll show you what I was working on last night. It is my Autumn at Hawker and Hollow piece. I won't put in a picture of where it was last time, because I'd finished the 4th block and I'm on the 5th block now. I'll show you a picture of what it would look like when it's finished. So there's 12 blocks in all, and obviously the topper, which has been done. This is where I've got to on that 5th block. So again, it's coming on all right. My little grey piggy, he's stitching up quite nice. This is another one of those where there really is an awful lot of blocks of stitching to go at, so you never feel as though you're having to count stuff all of the time. It's just nice. So I've worked on this for the last maybe what, two nights, 3 nights. I've only been able to get maybe a couple of hours in tops on it, so a tiny bit of progress, but still, you know, progress is progress, isn't it, no matter how little it is. And then finally, I have actually managed to stitch on the Chatelaine. Not a lot, but I will show you what I've got done. I've started working on another of the little section blocks. I think my reluctance to stitch another one of the 1/1 Tudor roses is pushing me into different aspects of the piece. I'm going to stand up for this one. So if you remember last time you saw this, for those of you who don't know, this is a Royal Tudor mandala. I'll put in a picture of what it'll look like when it's finally done. And I have been down here, so let me see if I can get it zoomed in a little bit further for you. So this is a beetroot and a lettuce patch. So I've been stitching little beets and lettuces in specialty stitches for a couple of nights that I worked on this. I mean, it looks okay. I mean, there is something to say about this. I mean, if any of you saw my unboxing of all of the threads that go into this, so this has probably, it's one of the kits with, I mean, I don't know about the rest of them, but it's one kit that has a lot of different flosses, specialty floss, you name it, silks, oh, hand-dyed, the lot. There's, I would want to say, about 10 different types of thread within this one particular area, which is fine, and it looks good, don't get me wrong, it looks good, but I think it's the nature of the hand-dyed flosses. So say you're working with Gloriana or Dinky Dyes, particularly Gloriana, I want to say in this instance. I think I've stitched in 3 different shades of thread, for example, and depending on where you are within the hand-dyed part, a lot of them are very, very similar. And part of me wonders, you know, obviously being the cheapskate that I am, is all of that absolutely necessary to achieve something that looks very nice? I mean, don't get me wrong, it's amazing, I love it to pieces, you know, when I work on it, it makes my heart very, very happy. But, you know, as I'm working on it, feeling very happy, I do wonder, you know, is that particular colour change that necessary right at that moment in time, given that the part of the thread I'm using is a very similar green to the bit that I've just been working on. I don't know. I mean, we'll have to see when the overall design is finished, and you know, I mean, who knows, because I didn't stitch it in DMC or anything like that. I just wonder, and it would be interesting if anybody's ever done the Royal Tudor mandala and substituted some of the hand dyeds and fancy flosses and stuff like that for DMC. Does it make that much of a difference, is kind of where I'm going with it. So it would be interesting if you do know of anybody who's done it, or there's any pictures online, let me know if you've done it and you've substituted a fair bit of it out. I would be quite curious to see. You know, obviously I'm not going to not do it now, but you know, is it worth it? You know, because it might be a lesson to all of us to a certain extent, because I know I did spend a lot of money kitting this up, and although it's fabulous and I love it and I can't wait to see what it's going to look like as it progresses, I do sort of, part of me thinks, well, it would have still probably looked as amazing had I done it in a few more DMC flosses. Anyway, I have something to show you, which is let's say an addition to my collection. I got a comment from a lovely lady who said she's no longer referring to it as her stash but her collection, and I'm like, yes, that's how I'm going to refer to my stash from now on, my collection. So I'm going to go and get it for you, and I'll be back in 2 ticks. I'll see you in a minute. So I haven't had anything new in a long time, so the fault of this lies with Teresa Little Stitcher. If you don't follow Teresa and you've been living in under a rock, go and follow her. She's lovely. But she has started doing some hardhanger work, and she's working on a beautiful hardhanger piece designed by a lady called Judy Dixon, who has an Etsy store. You know, when you just sort of see something and you think, I've never done hardhanger before, and obviously you know me, you know, am I going to go for an easy piece like a sensible person should do, having never done cut work or any form of wrapping or anything like that, relatively new to specialty stitches and things, you know, but you know, you either do it or you don't you? So I picked a design out from her website and got the pattern. So this is it. Apologies for the reflection, but this is called, it's called Autumn Echo by Judy Dixon. So this is the pattern. Apparently the instructions are very, very good, very self-explanatory in terms of how you do all this stuff. The nice thing about this as well, which I really did appreciate, was the fact that the beads, the little Mill Hill beads, have been included. So there's 2 different types. So that was a really nice touch. I must say I did appreciate that, so I don't have to go hunting for those. Although now that so-and-so has closed, because I didn't know that had gone until a couple of people pointed out in my comments from my last upload where I'm going to get the threads to do this from. So I'm going to have to go and do a bit of a search, because I haven't even bothered kitting it up yet. I'd love to start it, but realistically, is it going to happen this month? I mean, who knows, but yeah, no, it would be nice to start on it, so I chose that. So there's what has it got? So it's got some pearl cottons in it, it's got a fair bit of DMC. There's not a lot. It does have a choice of Belfast linen or any even weave. It says 32 or 28 count. Now, having never done hardhanger before, is there any particular type of fabric that's easier to do the cut work on? I'm imagining maybe an even weave, given that sometimes linen can be a little bit uneven, slubby, shall we say, and not quite as uniform. So I'm thinking maybe an even weave. If you know or you have any thoughts on it, please just leave me a message in the comments box and let me know about that. I would much appreciate any guidance or thoughts around that. So I'll be hanging on to the instructions in here the way that I hang on to my Chatelaine instructions, reading it word for word. So yeah, I think it's really pretty, that, and something a little bit different to my usual selection. So we'll see how I get on with that. So that is my monthly update in a nutshell. So if you're sticking around for a little bit longer, my plans are pretty much to continue with what I've got going on here. I really want to get stitching on the Heaven and Earth design. The sun's coming back out now. I'm just about to get blinded. Natural light. Yeah, I want to get back on with the Heaven and Earth. I do want to make a little bit more progress on the Chatelaine, because I feel as though it's looking out a little bit at the minute. And then just whatever takes my fancy. I'm acutely aware that Christmas is coming. I do like to do a little bit of Christmassy stitching here and there, so maybe I will pull out something along those lines. But yeah, the mirror, I want to do probably a little bit more skin this month as well. Maybe the chest area, start that a little bit, and yeah, just make a bit more headway with her. I think that background on the Persephone piece is going to be quite something to stitch. Stitching those like little lotus flowers in was quite an event during the time that I did it. It did take a lot of time, so I think that detail will prolong the finish somewhat, but you know, it's all good, isn't it? So that's my thoughts for this next month. So let me tell you about the other channel that I have created. So I have, as you know, multiple passions in my life. I love crafting, and this channel, by and large, give or take, has been dedicated to craft type stuff, but I also like a lot of other things as well. So I follow different types of YouTubers, vloggers. So obviously my FlossTube friends, who my die-hard people that I follow, and there's a lot of really new excellent FlossTubers out there as well. So always my first port of call is FlossTube. When people upload, I'll be there clicking away straight away watching you guys. But my other love and passion is for, it's kind of like lifestyle vlogs, health, home, fashion, style, that kind of thing. So I was thinking I might, or I have, shall we say, embarked on a new venture. So I have created a new channel, and I'll put the link below for you. I have uploaded one video on there so far, and basically what you're going to get on there is like a whole plethora of different things, as I've said, vlog type stuff as well, just general life stuff. And then I thought I would keep the two channels separate, because you know, we're quite a niche little area here. We've got a beautiful community of people, a nice little area, and you know, by and large, if you are looking for cross stitch, that's what you're looking for. Do you know what I mean? And if you're following somebody who stitches and their updates and you know, tutorials and things, that's what you're here for. And you know, not everybody wants to see, you know, I don't know, my new garage conversion or stuff like that, but there's also a lot of people on here who do. And I just thought, you know, for those of you who want to come and join me over there, I'd love to have your support, because obviously starting off on a new venture is always a little bit daunting. So if you want to come and support me over there, come and follow me over there, I would be more than happy to have you. And then also, you know, it would appeal to other people as well outside of our community. So that's what I thought I would do, rather than try and cram the two together. I've done in the past some, you know, Chatelaine hauls and things like that, and Christmas decoration things, and yes, they do get watched and they do get liked, and people do appreciate it. But I've been asked a lot of questions around the garage conversion, so I'm going to do work from start to finish over on my other channel. People have been asking about my weight loss journey as well and how I've done it, so I want to do, you know, a vlog or an update rather on the process I've gone through. So I thought I would keep them separate, and yeah, it's down below if you would like to come across and follow it. So if you like anything to do with life, whatever that is, cleaning, products, whatever, that sort of thing, then I would love to see you over there. So I will leave that with you. If you do come, leave me a little comment in the box and let me know that you've popped over. It'll be nice to know and see some friendly faces, because I don't know what that community is like. I'm hoping it's nice. I'm hoping people are lovely like they are here, but I don't know. You know, a lot of the vloggers I watch are, you know, they're all different age groups. So I think there's something for everybody, isn't there, when it comes to YouTube and channels and things like that. So yeah, I just thought I'd share that with you. It's stuff that I'm doing anyway, so, you know, in terms of impact on my life, I don't think it'll really make that much of a difference. I think the hardest thing with stitching and the FlossTube is I don't get enough progress to be able to come on weekly and spend more time interacting. I love this sort of thing. I love this creativity and being able to do stuff like this, but because I work on such big projects, I don't really have anything to show you except for on a monthly basis. And yeah, I can do some product reviews and things like that from time to time, but you know, the other stuff I'm doing anyway, so I thought, well, I might as well capture it. So that was my thought process anyway. I mean, whether or not it works or not, I don't know, but I will always have this channel. I'm always going to be here doing this and other crafty type things, so it's not going to go away and it won't get lost with that stuff, because ultimately on an evening I'm always going to want to stitch. So with that said, I will leave it there. If I see you on the other side, I'll be more than happy to see you. If not, please stay here with me and enjoy the rest of the stitching madness. So I will wish you all a lovely September. Now that we're in it, get lots of lovely scented candles, which is what I have around me. Get your warm blankets, get your stitching out, find something fab to watch on the TV and enjoy yourself. And I will catch up with you really soon. You take care, guys. Bye for now.